Alright guys, Mark Crossfield here, Doorless Warner. I've been out here for a few weeks actually, really looking forward to trying some new equipment. We've got the Ping i500 irons in the bag. Hello Revolution golfers as well, thanks for watching. Post comments down below as always, let me know what you think of these clubs. They're new. Ping have not made anything like this before. Let's see what they're all about. Right, so i500 is basically a player's distance iron. Looks and feel of, say, similar to iBlade maybe, but then distance of G700 from Ping. A distance player's iron. That's a different one, isn't it? So i500, I'm going to hit a 9 iron, got 151 yards, it's slightly down breeze. That would normally be my 8 iron, so I'm going to go with the 9 iron. It's got a forged face, and the construction of these is actually similar to how they construct a metal wood, which we'll come on to. First thing, the looks. 9 iron's got no offset, next to none if anything. Very thin top lines, it's got this very smooth blade-like appearance on the back, but you can see there's some sole. There's this port here as well, because I'm presuming it's obviously hollow in there. It's quite an interesting combination. It looks fantastic. Yet it looks like there's stuff going on under the hood. It looks like there's more to it than just looks. So again, the 9 iron down by the ball looked brilliant. It looked absolutely fantastic. Did it feel like a forged face and like a bladed iron? Not really. It had more of a ping, a ting to it. It had more of a feeling of, I would say, a cavity back, even though this is a cavity back, but we don't see the cavity, it's hollow. But then the looks do trick you, because they do look as good as kind of any blade out there almost. So you can see it made a distance of my 8 iron. We're going to take a look at the dry ball data as we go on. I'm expecting to see a little bit lower spinning kind of club, which is giving me that kind of, it shoots up in the air because there's sole and what have you on this club. There's, you know, there's enough lowering a CG to help push the ball up, but that's also then taking off a spin. It's what I'm expecting to see. See if I can hold a putt, and we might look at the dry ball data. So let's take a look at i500 numbers. 7 iron's interesting, look, so it's averaging 166 yards, so slightly on the longer side of my 7 iron, topping out at 170, which is definitely my 6 iron. Spinning average around 5.2, so it's the lowest spin, launching at 18, peak heighting at 31, kind of. But look at the first hit. First hit, the spin drops down to 3.4, peak height 26, a complete miss hit. If I take that one off, so spins averaging 5.8, which is around 600 to almost 1,000 revs less than what my bladed clubs would be. Peaking out at 33, similar to a fraction higher, launching at 18 degrees. But again, it's that bottom number one there when I mishit it that really scares me, how far that spin can drop off if I get it slightly on the face. That's even with all the finishes and what have you, which we'll come to later. Now, if we look at the top ones here, so this is the 5 iron, you got 184 and then spinning at 4.8 with some spinning over 5,000. Top one spinning at 5.6, peaking height at 31. So what's interesting is the 5 iron is maybe half a club longer than my clubs and spinning around similar to what my clubs do. So mine being blades, so the kind of spinniest clubs you can get if you like. Where the 7 iron is stronger. So it's almost like there's a slight kind of grading of the spin in its aggressiveness, which is almost going slightly the wrong way if you think about it, but you know, they are pretty good numbers considering what this club is trying to be, but they are still playing with launch and dropping spin off to try and get as much distance out there. The big question always is, have you got spin to give back to the course? But let's get back out there and see what I think as we hit a few more shots trying to actually make a score out there. decent numbers, good numbers. It's interesting how the 5-iron is a little bit more realistic in its spin, going a little bit further, yet the 7-iron, you can see the miss hit, how far it drops down. I mean, all clubs will drop down when you miss hit them, but that's always the danger with clubs that are taking spin away from you. I'm in a position where I can't give any spin back to the course, just to be tricked by D-plane and lofts and those kind of things. But as distance player irons go, probably the best numbers we've seen. So Ping is saying the key to i500 is it's constructed more like their metal woods. So we're seeing a variable face thickness. They're able to really mill the tolerances, I think, of this forged face, try and make sure they're getting the weight in the right place and losing it in the right place, because this face is flexing. Ping is saying 5 times flexier than the other new Ping iron, the i210. So we've got some face flexing, we've got the forged face to try and help with feel and obviously allows them to do stuff with that face. And then we've also got Hydro Pearl 2.0 on this club as well, which is the finish, which does look almost kind of white satin, beautiful finish, that also is helping with slip and grip kind of ideas, which is going to help with keeping spins up, certainly out of kind of those fly lies when the ball gets a bit damp on it. They're saying the Hydro Pearl finish is helping with those flyer shots. Now down by the ball, the 7-iron is a nice blade length, again tiniest bit of offset, next to nothing. 7-iron has a very thin top line. It does look very much like a gamer's club down by the ball, like a player's club, like someone who wants to look, or a club to look a certain way, like a kind of what a classic blade would look like. But let's remember, at the same time, it is delivering help, finishes on the club that are going to help with flyers, anything where they're trying to help with keeping spin up in certain dropping spin locations is a good thing. But again, there, the only contradiction for me is we've got a lower spinning iron that you saw in those numbers, so you could get that spin back without the finish, if you think about it, by using certain lofts, by having CGs in certain places. So as with any club manufacturer and design, it's that balance between trying to give you what you want, to what the designer wants, to what the launch monitor needs to deliver for you to buy these clubs. We're in a funny place at the moment in the golf world, where we seem to be going around in circles. I'm really happy that this club is new, different, and I love the way they're manipulating the looks while trying to give you that kind of friendly iron. But there are a few contradictions in here if you think it through. Right, 151, I can hit the 9, wind down and off the right, but I'm going to try and hit a cut up against the wind 7-iron. So when you've got a lower spinning iron, this is a lower spinning shot for me because I'm going to hit it kind of 3/4. Can I still control distance? Looks like I can. That is straight at it. No, that is one bounce, and I think that's flown the green. Let's get up there and see. So up on the green, it's taken one bounce, landed back here. Greens are quite receptive here. Can't quite find a pitch mark, and there it is, just over the back. So I would do more testing with this. Obviously that's one shot. I would expect that. I would really cut it up 3/4, hit it into this wind, or kind of down and off the right, so cutting it against the wind with the left to rightness, or right to leftness of it, my shot left to right. I wouldn't expect that to be quite as long as that. But again, this is where you need to test and make sure you're doing real tests. Play shots that you're going to play on the course. If you want to stand in a bay and smash it as far as possible and tell your mates, oh look, I'm hitting the 7-iron 200 yards, that's great. But if you're not playing like that on the course, you've got no intention of playing that on the course, I'm not sure what you're testing if you're doing that. Give myself that one. The 5-iron on this club again looks spectacular, next to no offset. It's a tiny bit thin top line like the others, and again the sole doesn't really get any thicker. Kind of as clubs go, they absolutely tick the box on the looks factor. Feel factor, great. They don't feel like a blade. There's more sound They feel firmer. These aren't negative comments, they're just my feels. It's got the word forged on there because obviously they are doing stuff with forging that's precision and la-di-da-di-da. It's not what I would want from a Forge club, but Forge does give you permission to sell it at a certain price. It gives you permission to kind of deliver it to a certain audience. Looks wise, great. Feel wise, fine, kind of what I would expect. But then after reading kind of like the marketing stuff, maybe I did expect more of a forged feel. Does that make sense? It's what I would have expected if I didn't read anything, by looking at it and its tagline, distance, power, but players looking iron. I think they're in a really interesting place in the marketplace. I'd love to know what you think. Post comments down below as always. There's another really interesting point with these clubs as well, which I only would take my hat off to Ping, I think, and this is what I love about Ping, always trying to kind of push the barriers, I think, for the better. But let's tell you, we're going to play my next shot. I'll show you what the last factor of these is, what I think is pretty clever. So these clubs come in 3 different lofts. They've got a retro, a standard, then a power loft, and I think that is fantastic. Ping are basically kind of saying, look, this is, in my opinion, this is what they're saying. If we're going to have to play this silly distance game, if we're going to have to play this low spinning, low lofted, you want launch monitor numbers because that's where maybe other people in the marketplace are pushing it, then we'll give you that. If you want true lofts, what we call retro lofts, but you still want this look, feel and help, we'll give you that. And then if you want lofts that we think are best or maybe most suited for this iron, so whatever's best is probably the wrong term because best is whatever's best for you, you can have that as well. Because think about Ping's heritage. It's in custom fit. They kind of pioneered it, and somewhere down the line it almost feels like that message has got lost as the golf industry kind of goes on these funny twists and turns of whoever's shouting the loudest. But I love the fact that with these, Ping are going almost back to their heritage of saying custom fit still there. We got the dot system, we got the 3 different loft system, plus we're going to try and push and advance in milling faces, forging with distance. The wedge, I got a U wedge here, looks great. It looks like a classic wedge. I want you to try these and let me know. I think they're an exciting set of clubs. That wedge felt decent, looks superb, went the distance I wanted to hit it. Post comments down below, let me know what you think. 3 different lofts, a distance player's iron, can there be such a thing? If there is, this is as close as it gets. I still think D-plane's going to rule, and lots of you don't want to understand that or look at what that means, and that's fine. You can have your launch monitor friendly ones or whatever, I think that's clever. And as looks goes, try them. Let me know what you think. Come on down there, let me know. I want you to try these clubs. I think they're quite exciting.